Hello, all most beautiful spiritual beings. Welcome to our channel. My name is Archie. I am the host of the Trusted Bliss. It's a beautiful springtime here in the place where I'm recording this video. Nature is waking up. Would you like to listen to some singing birds? The theme of the awakening is very closely connected to the topic we are presenting today. For the twin flame recognition and spiritual awakening are like the two paddles of the same boat. Using them, we can easily reach not only the coast of the transformation of our personality and life, but also the enlightenment and liberation. We can fly to God just like birds. Some teachers may say that the twin flame recognition sparks the awakening itself, and that may be true in some cases. In my personal experience yet, the awakening did start about 2 years before I came to the point in space and time where I physically met my twin flame. I also must say I wasn't fully conscious of that up to the point of recognition, and I became fully aware of what is happening to me only after that. So I tend to think that both of these processes go basically in correlation, for they are arranged in advance by God, divine, our soul, and the higher self. Please tell us in the comment section below what is your experience and your opinion on that debatable question. I would characterize the twin flame recognition as the game changing point of our personal evolution, where our consciousness expands enough that we can fully recognize ourselves in another person. Regardless, we are still attached to the duality consciousness, understanding at the very beginning of our spiritual road. This statement, however, may be too complicated to understand if you are still fully residing in a world of duality, or so-called 3D dimension. But there are many good videos on the twin flame recognition made on a basis of simplified approach. You can easily find them and use. I guess they may be truly helpful if you want to clarify any inner doubts you've got about a specific person, or you need just a wise relationship advice. Our video is dedicated mostly to those who are aware about correlation between spiritual awakening and the twin flame journey, who are seeking the answers, for they are noticing that something is about to change in the external reality and especially inwards. We decided to leave the analysis of typical twin flame characteristics for another video, and we will focus mostly on the process itself in this one, that after this video you could understand if this is the exact thing that did happen or is happening to you without any other guidance of astrologers and psychics. So this video is intended to preserve your resources, time, privacy, and even your good night's sleep. We wish it would serve you as some kind of walking stick next to your inner knowing and intuition that you're supposed to rely and fully trust in your spiritual journey. We sincerely want to make the clear and informative video dedicated to the theme, emphasizing specific ways your soul and the universe will prepare you for that special moment and will let you to know about that. If you find this video useful to you, please stay with us, consider commenting on the video, hit a like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Now, you did hear us correctly. Very often, the twin flame recognition happens naturally, and we have no doubts whatsoever what did happen to us. We need no validation or proof from the outside. Sometimes yet, for we are too busy managing our everyday life in this crazy modern world, we are brainwashed by popular culture, media, and politics, and often focused on a smartphone much more than on our own sensations and people around, that we can walk by even such an important event without noticing that. Oh, yes, you hear me right. I know that you can miss your true twin flame. I did witness this happening But the main or core reason how and when this may happen, we will disclose at the end of the video. And we will mention now only some superficial and sketchy causes that can be easily noticed even by the simple, practical mind. From what I'm observing around me in refugee life, I have enough of courage to say that this mostly happens to men, for they are badly driven by competitive thoughts, money, career. They often stuck in their ego, or if that's more clear to you, in their rational or logical mind, and often are consciously suppressing the voice of their intuition and heart. They may be misled by the false beliefs that they are accumulating since a very young age when they start building their identity of a male or man. Yet, not only men, women can also have some difficulties to notice and to recognize their true twin flame, for they may be too focused on their everyday duties, family problems, friends, health or appearance issues, parties, or diets. They may be currently in a relationship or simply not looking for no one and not necessarily seeking big spiritual goals. We listed here just some simple yet influential reasons why some people can miss their true twin flame encounter or don't validate it in the way they should. Attention, we don't say now that the list of these causes ends here, and we still did not tell the main one. As we decided before, we will disclose it only at the end of the video. Now we simply want to dedicate all your attention to so-called twin flame recognition signs or indicators. At the top of this bill, we want to put some specific inner sensations and some strange events around you before the recognition happens and at the exact time of the meeting, that no one, after watching the video, would ever miss again their divine counterpart or so-called twin flame. Be aware, we won't analyze precisely distinct characteristics of twin flames in this video, but only the clear, undeniable indicators around and inside of you transmitted via your intrinsic feeling, intuition, and your physical senses. All the sensations we will mention now, normally you can get directly. If this happens, you should become more alert than ever, for they are announcing or warning you that your twin flame is about to come or just came into your physical 3D timeline. Before diving deep into that bill or enumeration, we recommend you to try to find out if you are the twin flame yourself. If you can see in yourself the traits that normally are attributed to twin flames. To determine that, you should take a deep and sincere glance. Ask the question if you know yourself well. Analyze your own abilities and interests. You may be a twin flame if you are and always was an intelligent, gentle, compassionate, loving, and intuitive person. If you were seeking the profound spiritual knowledge, if you were interested in natural healing and service to others, and if you've got very close personal relationship with God. It's important mentioning here that few years before the first meeting with your twin flame, all your distinct abilities and gifts may be brightened and strengthened. For God, divine, the universe, and your own soul are preparing you in advance for that. You may argue with me, but I'm completely sure that twin flame meetings and unions are orchestrated before we came into this life as human beings, and the large number of events and sensations around the time of the recognition are just flashes or revelations of our soul memory and guidance of our higher divine self, for they don't want us to fail this mission and supporting us at all the time. So, several years before you meet your twin flame, you may start noticing some specific sensations typically related to that special event. Be aware, I'm talking in this video only about your own experience. I think that should be sufficient for you, and there are no necessity to search how the situation appears to others. including the person who, as you suspect, may be your twin flame. I won't count precisely how many recognition signs I will enumerate here, for I will mention only the most significant ones, while skipping out some smaller or joining them to the larger clusters. I will form two sets of these signs, sensations and obstacles, one that are taking place normally before the meeting, and the second that emerges mostly after that. I will try to keep this enumeration close to my authentic experience by putting these indicators of the unconscious preparedness for the meeting with your twin flame gradually, as I've experienced them on my own timeline. But you must be aware that there are no strict linear order here, for we may experience some sensations or obstacles at once. So now we can start counting and shortly analyzing so-called twin flame encounter or recognition signs. Just let's not forget that some of these indicators may appear in your life few months or years before the actual meeting with your twin flame happens, but you may don't notice them at all when they are emerging out of nowhere. If you are a super busy or rational person, you may think that it's only some stress or tiredness. But if you will revise your life after the recognition, you may find that all the signs were perfectly woven or placed in your timeline a long time ago, regardless you didn't know the reason. The first indicator I will emphasize in this group is the clear sense of the inner freedom and also the undeniable knowing of your own responsibility for the form and quality of your life that may lead to inevitable further transformation of your personal 3D reality, including rapid social circles changes, a novel career, the new living place, and the main language for communication, basic belief system or religion change. To explain it a little bit more precisely, we should say that basically you evolve up to the degree that you are able to revise your life from a different perspective, so you can shake off or release the large amount of false beliefs that don't serve you. You want to become an independent and strong human being by bringing back or achieving some initial dreams you have had decades ago. About the same time, you may notice some distinct yet unusual physical symptoms that indicates an initiated spiritual awakening. But if you are not aware about this process, you can easily miss them. In general, it feels mostly as if something is going on with your energy field. It may include your kundalini and third eye awakening that sometimes may cause strong or repetitive headaches. You can notice faster than usually healed small wounds and the aging process slowing down. Significant surprises may arise in your daily routine, including changed patterns of your physical, intellectual activity, and relaxation or sleep. You may have gradual, unconscious diet changes, for you are instinctively searching for the methods and tips that could ease your sensations. You may also experience strange, mystical, or vivid dreams, and some of them can be even prophetic, strangely pointing your attention towards a special situation or specific person. It's not excluded that you may also have so-called out-of-body experiences, but I won't focus on that topic for I will make a separate video about it later on. I don't know if that's true for you, but many twin flames actually deeply believe that both souls of the twin flame pair can travel beyond this physical 3D reality and communicate in the other dimensions to strengthen the bond of love and to make the recognition as smooth as it's possible. Our limited logical mind can't fully grasp that, but I'm more than sure that it was definitely happening to me about a year before my recognition. We won't pay your attention as well that you will witness the strengthened presence of your soul or heart voice in your life that will start overpowering your logical mind and will be guiding you towards your meeting with your true twin flame. You may also start sensing the physical heart pain, disrupted beat patterns, and palpitations that are caused by heart chakra opening. Next to that real physical heartache, you may feel a strange melancholy or longing for something or someone without a reason. You can also notice increased feelings of love, tolerance, acceptance, and compassion toward yourself, your family, and basically toward all human beings. Very likely, you may experience one of few short but very intense, painful, and life changing relationships that may exhibit some sort of soul agreement or contract. To be frank, if you are not aware of who you are in words, and if you don't pay attention to your soul voice or intuition, you can easily mistake them for the true twin flame bond because of the pain they can cause you. Relationships of this kind basically underlie the foundation of the false twin flame concept. Next to these unfulfilling and painful relationships, you may have a sense of tiredness that feels not even in your heart center, but actually at the center of your being or soul. For if you are the twin flame, you start feeling the unbearable heaviness of the physical 3D world when your soul is invited to seek the light and is about ready to shake that burden off. You may feel as if you are losing interest in the things, activities, and projects you were quite passionate before. You are noticing that you are no longer badly involved in a turmoil of the material world. You seek to find the real, undeniable meaning of this life and strive to find your life purpose. You won't put your abilities into something truly meaningful and to serve at least your community, if not the humanity. On the top of that, you may find you start unconsciously craving for deeper spiritual knowledge, including spiritual loss, manifestation, and even the twin flame phenomenon. Among these new or intensified interests, you may find yourself especially strongly drawn to the natural and energy healing. So now you can look more precisely into your life and current relationships and possibly discern if the majority or at least a half of these signs are present next to your romantic feelings. If you find that none of these indicators are leading or following a certain connection, you should accept a possibility that you are experiencing a soulmate or karmic stuff that did mean to help you to learn some lessons, to make you wiser, or to prepare you for much higher consciousness twin flame bond. Yet you must also be aware that no one can give you a guarantee that twin flame connection will be manifested in your present timeline. You also can use the enumeration of these signs if you want to find out the meaning of your past relationships, that you could easier release or let go an emotional burden or any unhealthy attachment that does not serve you but is destroying your life. Now, the last indication on this enumeration list of the approaching recognition is the spiritual guidance from the higher realms you feel in your heart center as a strange inner knowing that something extremely significant is happening or you need to do something specific. You may feel a strange, undescribable, but very clear guidance to come to a certain location at a certain time, to the place where you will meet your twin flame in the physical for the very first time. Sometimes this inner feeling may be strengthened by the angelic guidance through some visual objects and pictures, messages via music or lyrics, and repetitive number combinations. But it's easy to miss that if you don't use to it. At least I definitely did miss all that guidance completely, and I recognized it only later on when I did step into the dark night of the soul. Then I found that angel signs were always present and installed all over the places, Yet the ego consciousness is like a heavy fog that seldom allows us to see this world properly. So now let's take a deep breath and look at the other group of indicators that rise up at the very moment when your twin flame recognition is happening. The first of all, let's mention unusual meeting circumstances, not typical for normal relationships, or at least very distinct from the situations you used to meet new people before. You may also notice during the first meeting with your twin flame, or shortly after that, significant further your inner world and self perception changes. In other words, you may find yourself sensing some kind of completion in your life, as if you finally found something that you were searching for the very long time, and that your life story somehow became meaningful naturally with no extra effort. You may start feeling much more whole and complete than ever before, for your soul definitely knows the importance and value of that moment. If they are your twin flame, most likely you will feel an instant, undescribable, and inexplicable familiarity of their glance, voice, their energy field, their gesticulation, walking manner, facial features, and in some cases even physical scars. For visible scars are at the core just a representation of some wounding of your energy field you both unknowingly share. You may feel excited and surprised by instant and extremely sincere connection with them that will have nothing to do with typical romantic relationship tricks or flirtation. It's important to emphasize that you may not even notice a strong sexual drive towards them, but mostly tenderness, compassion, acceptance, and extreme, inexplicable supernatural force pulling towards them. You will notice as well that you quickly did quite strange and accurate, detailed evaluation of their physical and non physical traits, both positive and negative. Yet this picture may contain your own negative characteristics projected from your ego consciousness that can and usually do leave some foggy spots on that beautiful canvas. You sense their full potential and weaknesses, and you will have an unstoppable wish to help them in their mission. You will find out instantaneously or very fast a large set of the complementing gifts and abilities you share, as if they can and know everything in their field you wish you could and would be able to express yourself, and vice versa. The fact, however, does not mean that you are exactly the same. I would say you are like a piece of chocolate with nuts divided into parts, where both will have the same taste, regardless one part may have fewer nuts. When you will be encouraged to start the verbal communication with your twin flame, you will find out that you exhibit similar way of thinking, regardless you may be from different country, culture, another social and age group, different background, etc. Yet, if you know yourself good enough, you will notice you share proximate, if not same basic values, wishes, and goals, and even very similar struggles. You will have something in common even in past and present life obstacles and physical health. It's not excluded that you will be surprised by extreme familiarity of their name, and you may notice a large scale of strange, surprising, or quirky details of their biography and family story that may be reinforced by prominent negative thoughts and behavior patterns. If your communication will be extended for some time, you may have the extreme swings of mood depending on your proximity from them. The extreme joy or almost euphoria and excitement when you will be close, as well as abnormal sadness and despair when you will stay apart. As long as very typical for twin flames emotional triggering won't show up, you will experience an extreme honesty and sincerity in communication with them, the unconscious push to speak only the true and unusual desire to protect them and to help them. If your communication will continue for a longer period of time, you may notice sudden changes of your body complexity, extreme swings of weight, changes of your appearance, style, and even something new in your facial features. Some coaches these indications label as a soul shock, but myself, I tend to think that it's related to the etheric body merge. Right after the recognition, you will experience sense of incredibly boosted creativity and productivity. Yet you may not necessarily attribute that to the connection with this specific person, especially if you have had some other nurturing connections at that time. So, at some moments, even this extremely significant twin flame recognition and connection sign can be easily overlooked and undervalued. So, try to be present and focused when something new is happening in your life. Finally, some triggering of old emotional wounding may start happening. Yet different twin flame pairs may notice this at a slightly different phase. If your personal wounding is deep, the triggering and arguments may start happening very early. That way, your love bubble stage can be shortened, and on the contrary, if the wounding isn't too deep, unconscious triggering of hidden emotional and energetic wounds may take place significantly later and can be easily resolved. Regardless the specific details of your personal situation, please keep up your faith, for in some worst cases, the unconscious emotional release and purification of your core wounding also won't be delayed. That's very natural self-healing process common for twin flames. It may take place quite fast, for God never will leave you alone on that difficult path, and all that you need is to trust and do not rush the process. We should also mention that you can notice an increased awareness of your physical senses. You may have very unusual feeling as if your senses are strengthened. So all the information that you are absorbing from the world around you may look much brighter and louder. Regardless, the medical examination of your vision and hearing may show the same stable state or can become worse at some moments of the intense energetic purification. You may start feeling intensely the energy field of all that's representing life, but especially clearly the one that is emitted by people. Sometimes it may become too disturbing and exhausting, so it will pull you towards the silence and solitude. If too much wounding will surface in your connection too fast, and you won't be processing that stuff properly, the love bubble stage among you and your twin flame will be ended fast, and you will find yourself heading towards a deep voluntary purification and the acceleration of the spiritual awakening. When the stage that is called the dark night of the soul starts, you may feel as if you've got something slightly similar to a light depression and dissociation from the external world. So, this is the shortened or contracted list of the authentic twin flame recognition indications or signs. We could prolong it for some specific sensations continuous all along the journey, so this enumeration could go on and on. Yet we do know that the number of these signs isn't important as much as the clarity we want to offer you in this video. For it's painful to see that sometimes even popular and respectful coaches are selling the twin flame connection idea to the vast audience by putting this label on normal, karmic, or soulmate relationships and sometimes leave their clients alone without any support. So you may suffer, for some don't teach you the undeniable truth that a large amount of temporary connections are falling apart naturally. They can grant a happiness, joy, and certainty you crave, for they were manifested from your lover, selfish, not awakened ego consciousness. So be extremely aware if you seek a validation for a certain connection that you recently started in your life, especially if you know that you are not yet fully awakened or illuminated human being, and if you did not start at your spiritual path. If you've experienced or are experiencing less than a half of sensations and obstacles listed here in this video, be cautious. The interesting or attractive person you've just met most likely is not your true twin flame, but your soulmate or karmic partner, and that's not their nor your fault. You just can't manifest nothing better if you don't seek or can't open up your heart at the moment, and if you don't form a close and intimate connection with God. Yet, with no doubts, every, even a short love lesson, is still very valuable, and you should welcome them as a beautiful and generous gift of God that will definitely lead you to something greater at the end. It's also not excluded that you can and you will sustain that bond for your entire life if that will be a wish of your soul. Don't undervalue no one that is showing up in your life. Cherish and nurture all your connections when you have a chance to experience them. And try do not put a popular label on them. Do not scare your partner away. Be grateful for your interpersonal connections. Enjoy all the beautiful emotions you may experience. Learn from that, seek to be present, to expand your consciousness, and to grow up as much as you can. Strengthen your bond with your soul and God. At the right time, God or the universe will reveal you what your certain romantic experience was designed for and why it was given to you. Now, let's summarize all the groups of the twin flame recognition signs and make some final conclusions. The most important thing that we know to be true and undeniable, despite it's hard to prove it, is that the twin flame recognition and the entire journey is arranged by God and divine forces. It's guarded and supported at all the stages. So the only way you can fail it is to allow your lover ego consciousness to dominate and never try to tame. The goal of the recognition and the special twin flame bond is not a romantic relationship, it's the enlightenment and liberation by attaining and implementing the new high vibrational unity consciousness on the earth. If you discovered that you met your twin flame recently, we sincerely congratulate you and invite you to our community. If you did find out that you've met your twin flame in the past, but you were not able to process your path properly, and it seems now as if you've lost them already, we do encourage you to try to do something about it once again, at least by practicing meditation regularly, for God is benevolent and may give you the second chance. If you did not meet your twin flame yet, but you are craving for them, you can consciously initiate your spiritual journey by yourself, by example, joining the nearest meditation group or diving into the ocean of spiritual knowledge that is accessible to you. So, when you will be well prepared, your twin flame may appear in your life. Now, there is the most important reason here that is causing some people to walk by their twin flame without noticing them or don't recognizing them for who they are, and in some cases truly badly undervaluing that soul level connection, at least at the beginning, if it still somehow miraculously happens. This is possible only if you are disconnected from your soul and God, and often in one twin flame set, only one of the counterparts may be broken up to that tragic level. Yet even they are capable to heal themselves by the grace of God, if it's given enough of time. The connection or a degree of disconnectedness with your soul and your true divine self determines on a larger scale when your twin flame journey can manifest and how much will be prolonged certain stages. So some twin flames may miss their counterpart if they are fully living from a wounded ego mind and are badly disconnected from their soul, or if this bond is extremely weakened. So, in these cases, twin flames have no other chance but to go completely separate ways for decades, that they could grow up, heal, accumulate enough of wisdom, and reconnect to their soul before they are allowed to see that twin flame ever again. If you would ask me if you still can be the twin flame, regardless you don't feel the close, intense relationship with God, and you don't sense here mentioned awakening symptoms, I definitely can give you a positive answer. And I'm sure that in this case you possibly may not have a deep emotional wounding or did not accumulate too much of the karmic debt. It's possible that your connection with soul is and always had been very clear and strong, so you had no chance to make significant mistakes that would cause a major wrong turn of your spiritual road, nor bring some pain or damage to others. In this situation, your personal twin flame journey may be fast and pleasant, marked by an easy start. You also may have no significant or extended separation. For the end, my sincere yet simple advice is for you to ease your journey, to make it smooth and joyful, that it would cause no suffering and you could enjoy a happy ending. I mean by that the perfect, complete physical or 3D union with your twin flame and the enlightened state. Study the spiritual laws and follow them. Revise and rectify your lifestyle. Renew your diet. Make it light and pure. Meditate even if you never ever used to do that. Try. In my opinion, it's a must for twin flames and all spiritual seekers. Please find the nearest meditation group and join them. Look for a spiritual master that could help you in the best possible way if you will ever find yourself tired or stuck in any kind of weaknesses and doubts. If for some reason you can't make that, try to learn to meditate at home, for you can find plenty of material online, as well as some energy and emotional healing tools. At the moment, we do not have much resources, but we will be creating them. So join us, subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to stay informed about our updates. We are finishing video here. Please consider to comment on it and like it. Thank you. Finally, we wish much love to you and success in your personal journey. You were listening to the Trusted Bliss and Dati Ture. Stay tuned, our new video is coming soon.